So a lot of people equate colorblindness to I don't see race or to pretending not to see race. I think that's a big mistake. We all see race, right? And we're all capable of being racially biased, so we should all be self-aware to that possibility. My argument is not for that. My argument is that we should try our very best to treat people without regard to race, both in our personal lives and our public policy.
Of course.
And the reason I wrote this book...
Your argument for colorblindness, I think, is something that the right has co-opted. And so many in the Black community, if I'm being honest with you, because I want to be, believe that you are being used as a pawn by the right, and that you're a charlatan of sorts.
He's not a Republican.
So how do you...
He's never voted for a Republican.
You've said that you're a conservative.
No.
No, you did. You actually said that in the podcast that you did 2 weeks ago.
I said I was a conservative.
Yes, you did. So, but my question to you is, how do you respond to those critics?
Okay, let's give it. Let him answer.
First thing I think it's very important. The quote that you just pointed out about doing something special for the Negro. That's from the book Why We Can't Wait that I just mentioned.
Yes.
A couple paragraphs later, he lays out exactly what that something special was, and it was the Bill of Rights for the Disadvantaged, a broad class-based policy.
But he also says you must include race.
No.
I hardly watch The View, but I see this video to be very important when it concerns this issue of race. Coleman wrote a book and The View is trying to deal with him. He actually taught Sunny Hostin a lesson she has never seen. When you take a look at this tweet, Coleman, hold his own on The View, calls out Sunny Hostin for her attempt to use ad hominem attack instead of debating his ideas, and he explained why being in favor of colorblind policies instead of race-based policies is more beneficial. Sunny Hostin spent her whole years in race baiting. Seeing someone going contrary to her ideas is something she's not impressed with. It is crazy though. If you're not subscribed to this channel, please endeavor to do that. And if possible, share the video.
First question that I should ask you to do is explain to folks what you mean by this. Arguments for a colorblind America. What do you mean when you say that?
So a lot of people equate colorblindness to I don't see race or to pretending not to see race. I think that's a big mistake. We all see race, right? And we're all capable of being racially biased, so we should all be self-aware to that possibility. My argument is not for that. My argument is that we should try our very best to treat people without regard to race, both in our personal lives and our public policy.
Of course.
And the reason I wrote this book, thank you. The reason I wrote this book is because in the past 10 years, it has become very popular to, in the name of anti-racism, teach a kind of philosophy to our children and in general that says your race is everything, right? And I think that is the wrong way to fight racism, and that's why I wrote this book at this time.
I'm sorry, baby. Yeah. Can I just point out that there is a reason for that? You know, when I went to school, getting any information about anyone's race was not taught. No history, there was no black history. None of those things were taught. And here in America, 100 years ago when I was a young woman, that's how people saw you. That's how they judged you. So I think, I don't want to say it's your youth, but I think you have a point, but I think you have to also take into consideration what people have lived through in order to understand why there has been such a pointing of very specific racial things, like women couldn't get into colleges. If you were a black person, there were a lot of colleges wouldn't accept you, trying to equal the playing field. I think that's what a lot of folks have been trying to do. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
I think that's your experience, and that's valid. You know, as a counterpoint, when I was in 5th grade, we all watched Roots together in public school.
Yeah.
So these are different experiences. I think it's also different generations. It's different parts of the country, right? We have very different cultures all living together in one country. So I'm not going to deny that. But I think I view this notion of a colorblind society similar to the idea of a peaceful society, which is to say it's an ideal, it's a North Star, and the point is not that we're ever going to get there, we're not going to touch it, but we have to know when we're going forward and when we're going backwards, and we're going backwards when we're doing woke kindergarten in San Francisco, you know, with you didn't hear about this story?
No, but
Wait, because I want to get to the part of the book.
Okay,
You believe that public policies that address socioeconomic differences would be better at benefiting disadvantaged groups, and that race-based policies often hurt the very people they're trying to help. What are some examples of policies that would be better at reducing racial disparities?
So my overall argument is that class, socioeconomics, is a better proxy for disadvantage. We all want to help the disadvantaged, and the question is, how do we identify them, right? The default right now in a lot of areas of policy is to use, you know, Black and Hispanic identity as a proxy for disadvantage, and my argument is that you actually get a better picture of who needs help by looking.
Yes, I will say this. If you want to make it with the view or make them happy, don't just try like you want to bring people together. This idea of coexisting does not exist with people from the view. That is what I realized. But why? They share hatred. That is what they do here. I want to call this show the way it is. I don't want to sugarcoat. This guy came with this, notion like peace. We should be able to live together. But they don't like this idea. The book is bringing out, it is vital, important for people to actually see, because I like to admire someone that is trying to bring people together. When I see that you want to divide people the more, I drift away. I didn't want to react to this video, but when I see what he did, try to call out Sunny Hostin for what she has been doing for a very long time, I had to react. Why should we not coexist? That is a question. If you look at their way, the way they presented this is the only guy during this argument that is making rightful decisions or rightful points that people should listen to. They spend the whole time, race baiting, cashing out on it. I don't see that to be vitally important. Someone wrote, he is the only person who made any rational argument. The rest of them tried to discredit him, purposefully trying to shut him down. Everyone should watch this segment and call out this show for what it is: hatred, pure hatred. They sell it, like I said. They want it. They want hatred toward anybody that want to coexist. That is not acceptable. You have to have hatred for one another. Someone who comes on selling peace, anger them. They are more about dividing than unifying. Somebody coming on their show trying to sell unity, anger them in a way that is frightening. That is it. Why should I even be on a show that say hatred? They don't want peace. They don't want to see people live together. That is what bothers me on a daily basis when I look at these people on The View. I thought they will employ people with different point of view. It is like when you have different point of view, they will not even want you on this show. That is what I've seen. It is crazy though. It is high time people call out these people for who they are. I understand people don't watch this, but it is important. I watch some of these videos for you to express myself the way I'm doing now. Thank you guys for always being there, sharing out my videos. God bless you abundantly.